Welcome to Audiobooks 831. This is Think and Grow Rich, a complete philosophy of success that teaches how thoughts become reality and how belief transforms desire into achievement. Everything that exists in the physical world first began as a thought. Every invention, every fortune, every accomplishment was once invisible, existing only in the imagination of someone who believed it could become real. Thoughts are powerful forces. When they are mixed with emotion and supported by belief, they gain the ability to influence action, attract opportunity, and shape destiny. The book begins with the story of Edwin C. Barnes, a man who had no wealth, no influential education, and no powerful connections, yet he possessed something more valuable than all of those things combined. He had a burning desire. Barnes made a firm decision that he would become the business partner of Thomas Edison. He did not say he would try. He did not say he hoped. He decided. That decision separated him from the millions who only wish. With almost no money, he traveled to meet Edison. He did not appear important. He did not look successful, but inside his mind, he carried certainty. Edison later said he could see determination in Barnes' face. Barnes did not become a partner immediately. He began with small work. He waited. He observed. He stayed focused on his definite purpose. Many people quit when success does not come quickly. Barnes did not. He understood that temporary defeat is not permanent failure. When Edison introduced a new invention that others doubted, Barnes saw opportunity. He believed in the product when others hesitated. He requested the chance to sell it and succeeded. Eventually, he achieved the partnership he had imagined from the beginning. The lesson is clear. Success begins with a definite purpose supported by a burning desire. When you remove the possibility of retreat, your mind becomes creative. It begins searching for solutions instead of excuses. Poverty and riches are first conditions of the mind before they become financial conditions. The subconscious mind accepts what it is repeatedly told. If you repeat thoughts of doubt and fear, your behavior will align with limitation. If you repeat thoughts of confidence and determination, your actions begin aligning with success. The mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant grows. Focused thought gathers power. Unfocused thought loses strength. When you direct your thinking toward a clear goal, your energy becomes organized. Belief transforms thought into reality. Faith is a state of mind developed through repetition and emotion. When you imagine success vividly and consistently, your subconscious begins guiding you toward it. Fear operates through the same principle. Fear is belief in negative outcomes. Whatever dominates your thinking controls your direction. There are no limitations except those you accept. Circumstances challenge everyone, but response determines results. The book then moves into the principle of desire, explaining that all achievement begins with a burning desire. A weak wish produces weak results, but an intense desire backed by commitment produces action. The mind responds to definiteness. When you clearly define what you want, set a specific goal, determine what you will give in return, establish a date, create a plan, write it down, and repeat it daily with belief, you begin programming your subconscious. Faith strengthens desire. Repetition builds faith. Autosuggestion becomes the method through which conscious thought influences the subconscious mind. Whatever you repeatedly affirm with emotion becomes embedded as belief. Specialized knowledge is then introduced as organized information directed toward a definite purpose. Knowledge alone is not power. Applied knowledge is power. Successful individuals do not necessarily know everything, but they know how to gather and organize knowledge efficiently. Imagination becomes the workshop of the mind where ideas are shaped into plans. Synthetic imagination rearranges existing concepts, while creative imagination receives inspiration in moments of insight. Organized planning turns ideas into practical action. Plans may fail, but failure signals the need for new plans, not surrender. Decision is another essential principle. Successful people make decisions quickly and change them slowly, while unsuccessful people make decisions slowly and change them quickly. Persistence sustains effort when obstacles appear. Most people quit at the first sign of difficulty, but those who cultivate persistence continue despite delay, criticism, or temporary defeat. The power of the mastermind principle explains that when two or more minds coordinate in harmony toward a definite purpose, they create a third invisible force greater than any single mind alone. Cooperation multiplies strength. The mystery of transmuting emotional energy into productive effort teaches that powerful emotions, when redirected constructively, fuel achievement. The subconscious mind serves as the connecting link between thought and action, constantly influenced by dominant feelings. The brain acts as a broadcasting and receiving station for thought vibrations, responding to emotional intensity. The sixth sense represents heightened intuition developed through discipline of the preceding principles. Finally, fear is identified as the greatest obstacle to success. Fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death can paralyze ambition if left unchecked. These fears exist mainly in the mind and lose power when confronted with courage and clarity of purpose. The entire philosophy rests upon one foundation: thoughts become things. When desire, belief, planning, decision, persistence, cooperation, emotional control, and courage unite under a definite purpose, success becomes not an accident, but a predictable result. Control your thoughts, strengthen your belief, define your goal, persist through obstacles, and refuse to accept limitation. In doing so, you activate the invisible laws that transform ideas into reality and turn imagination into achievement. Desire is the starting point of all achievement. It is not a simple wish or a casual hope. It is a burning obsession that refuses to accept defeat. Every person who has ever achieved anything significant began with a desire so strong that obstacles became temporary and difficulties became stepping stones. To transform desire into reality, you must first define exactly what you want. Vague goals produce vague results. A clear and specific objective gives the mind direction. Decide the exact outcome you seek. Determine what you are willing to give in return, because every reward demands a price. Set a definite date for achievement. Create a practical plan and begin at once, whether you feel ready or not. Write your goal clearly and read it aloud every morning and every night with deep emotion and belief. Through repetition, your subconscious mind accepts the goal as reality and begins influencing your actions accordingly. Faith is the emotional force that gives power to desire. Faith is not something that appears instantly. It develops through repeated affirmation and visualization. When you consistently imagine yourself in possession of your goal and allow yourself to feel the emotions of success, your mind gradually accepts that image as true. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. Therefore, repeated emotional visualization strengthens belief and weakens doubt. Autosuggestion is the process through which conscious thoughts reach the subconscious. Whatever you repeatedly tell yourself, especially with feeling, shapes your inner programming. Negative self-talk creates negative results. Positive affirmation builds confidence and courage. By deliberately choosing your thoughts and repeating empowering statements, you gradually reshape your internal identity. Specialized knowledge becomes valuable only when it is organized and directed toward a definite purpose. General knowledge alone does not guarantee success. The most successful individuals understand how to gather expertise and apply it effectively. They may not know everything themselves, but they know how to connect with those who possess the knowledge they need. Imagination is the workshop where plans are formed. Synthetic imagination rearranges existing ideas into new combinations. Creative imagination produces insights that seem to arrive suddenly, often during moments of deep focus or strong emotion. Every successful plan begins in imagination before it becomes action. Organized planning transforms ideas into practical steps. No plan is perfect at the beginning. Temporary failure simply indicates that a plan requires adjustment. Those who persist revise their approach without abandoning their purpose. Decision separates leaders from followers. People who achieve success form decisions quickly and stand by them firmly. Indecision breeds doubt and fear. Persistence is the sustained effort required to turn desire into achievement. Obstacles test commitment. Many people surrender at the first sign of difficulty, but those who cultivate persistence continue despite setbacks. The power of the mastermind principle emerges when two or more individuals coordinate their efforts in harmony toward a common objective. Cooperation generates energy greater than individual effort alone. Emotional energy, when redirected constructively, becomes fuel for creativity and productivity. The subconscious mind functions continuously, influenced by dominant thoughts and feelings. The brain acts as both a broadcasting and receiving station, responding to strong emotional impulses. Intuition, often described as the sixth sense, develops as you apply these principles consistently and gain deeper awareness. Fear is the greatest enemy of achievement. Fear of poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death can silently undermine ambition. These fears exist primarily in imagination and gain strength when unchallenged. By replacing fear with faith and focusing on a definite purpose, you weaken their control. The philosophy concludes with the understanding that success is not a matter of luck. It is the result of applying universal principles consistently. Thoughts become things when combined with belief, emotion, and action. When you master your thinking, define your purpose, persist through adversity, cooperate with others, and refuse to accept limitation, you align yourself with the forces that transform ideas into tangible achievement. The journey toward achievement requires disciplined control of the mind. Most people allow external circumstances to dictate their thinking, reacting to events instead of directing their responses. However, those who succeed understand that environment must not control belief. Instead, belief must influence environment. The mind becomes stronger when it is trained to focus on solutions rather than problems. Every challenge carries within it the seed of equal or greater opportunity. The difference lies in perception. A trained mind searches for the lesson inside difficulty. An untrained mind sees only defeat. Persistence grows stronger when supported by a clear purpose. Without purpose, effort weakens under pressure. With purpose, effort intensifies. Repeated effort develops confidence, and confidence reinforces persistence. This cycle builds momentum. Momentum reduces fear. Fear thrives in uncertainty and hesitation. When you take decisive action, fear gradually loses its influence. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the mastery of it. When desire becomes stronger than fear, action becomes inevitable. Cooperation with others strengthens progress. No one achieves lasting success entirely alone. Harmonious collaboration multiplies intelligence and energy. When minds unite around a shared objective, new ideas emerge that would not appear in isolation. Respect, trust, and shared commitment strengthen the mastermind effect. Emotional control remains essential throughout the process. Strong emotions, when guided constructively, become creative power. When uncontrolled, they create distraction. Learning to redirect emotional intensity toward productive goals increases effectiveness. The subconscious mind continuously absorbs dominant thoughts. It does not rest. Therefore, maintaining positive mental input becomes critical. Replace complaint with gratitude. Replace doubt with affirmation. Replace hesitation with action. Over time, mental habits shape character. Character influences reputation. Reputation affects opportunity. Opportunity leads to advancement. Intuition develops gradually as the mind becomes disciplined and focused. Insights begin appearing unexpectedly, often during moments of calm reflection. These intuitive impressions guide decision-making when logic alone is insufficient. Trust grows as experience confirms their value. The final barrier to achievement often appears in the form of fear. Fear of failure prevents risk. Fear of criticism prevents expression. Fear of poverty limits ambition. Fear of loss creates hesitation. Yet each fear weakens when confronted directly. Analyze the fear, identify its source, Take small steps forward despite discomfort. Action dissolves anxiety. Inaction strengthens it. The principles outlined form a complete philosophy of personal transformation. Desire defines direction. Faith strengthens belief. Autosuggestion shapes subconscious influence. Knowledge provides tools. Imagination creates plans. Organized planning builds structure. Decision establishes commitment. Persistence sustains effort. Cooperation multiplies strength. Emotional discipline increases power. Intuition refines judgment. Courage eliminates fear. When applied together consistently, these principles reshape destiny. Success becomes predictable rather than accidental. Wealth becomes the byproduct of value creation and disciplined thought. The ultimate lesson remains clear. Control your mind, and you control your future. Thoughts, when combined with belief and action, become reality. Refuse to accept limitation. Refuse to surrender to temporary defeat. Maintain clarity of purpose. Persist until achievement becomes inevitable. Success is not an event, but a gradual unfolding of disciplined thought and consistent action. Each principle strengthens the others, forming a structure that supports long-term achievement. When desire is clear and faith is strong, hesitation loses its power. When planning is organized and decisions are firm, confusion disappears. When persistence becomes habit, obstacles shrink in significance. The mind operates according to dominant influence. Whatever thought pattern occupies attention most frequently becomes the guiding force behind behavior. Therefore, guarding mental input is essential. Negative influences, constant criticism, and repeated exposure to doubt weaken resolve. Positive reinforcement, constructive ideas, and supportive associations strengthen ambition. Surrounding yourself with individuals who share growth-oriented thinking reinforces belief and maintains motivation. Self-discipline remains central to this philosophy. Discipline directs energy toward meaningful objectives rather than temporary distraction. Without discipline, desire fades under pressure. With discipline, desire transforms into steady progress. Small daily improvements accumulate into substantial advancement over time. Consistency outperforms intensity when intensity is short-lived. The subconscious mind responds most powerfully to emotion. Therefore, enthusiasm becomes a vital ingredient in achievement. Genuine enthusiasm energizes action and influences others. It creates attraction and opportunity. When enthusiasm aligns with purpose, it becomes contagious. Others begin supporting the vision because they sense conviction. Confidence grows through repeated success, even small successes. Every completed task builds self-trust. Self-trust reduces dependence on external approval. When confidence strengthens, criticism loses its ability to discourage. Independence of thought becomes possible. Independent thinkers lead progress. Followers wait for permission. Leaders create direction. The transformation described in this philosophy begins internally but expresses externally. As belief strengthens, posture changes, speech becomes more certain, decisions become clearer. Relationships improve as communication gains clarity and assurance. Financial growth often follows personal growth because increased confidence improves opportunity recognition and execution. Fear, once dominant, gradually diminishes. The fear of poverty weakens when value creation increases. The fear of criticism fades when self-belief strengthens. The fear of failure reduces when setbacks are interpreted as lessons. The fear of loss decreases when purpose remains constant. By confronting fear repeatedly with action, courage becomes natural. Gratitude amplifies progress. Recognizing existing blessings cultivates optimism. Optimism enhances resilience. Resilience sustains effort during difficulty. Difficulty refines character. Character attracts trust. Trust builds partnerships. Partnerships expand influence. Influence creates opportunity. Opportunity accelerates growth. The cycle reinforces itself. The ultimate realization is that wealth is multidimensional. Financial abundance is one form, but mental clarity, emotional stability, strong relationships, and purposeful living represent deeper forms of richness. When internal wealth develops, external wealth follows naturally. The principles presented demonstrate that achievement is neither mysterious nor reserved for a select few. It is governed by consistent mental conditioning, clear intention, and persistent action. By mastering thought, strengthening belief, organizing plans, cooperating harmoniously, disciplining emotion, and confronting fear directly, any individual can elevate circumstances beyond initial limitation. The journey demands patience, but patience combined with action produces steady transformation. Control the mind, direct desire with precision, strengthen faith through repetition, persist beyond temporary defeat, cooperate wisely. Replace fear with courage. In doing so, you activate the laws that convert thought into tangible success and turn imagination into measurable achievement. This completes the philosophy of think and grow rich. You have traveled through the principles that convert desire into achievement and belief into measurable success. The responsibility now rests within you. Apply what you have learned. Guard your thoughts. Direct your energy. Persist beyond difficulty. Believe deeply in your capacity to create change. Wealth begins in the mind and expands through disciplined action. This is Audiobooks 831. May the principles you have heard guide your thinking, strengthen your purpose, and elevate your future. Continue striving, continue believing, and continue building the life you choose to create.